women and girls' rights, gender-based violence is still common. The persistence of these challenges are mainly due to this. This is also coming from the ECOWAS regional reports, Getting to Parity, the ECOWAS region's journey towards closing the gender gap, July 2022. So it is still coming from ECOWAS. It's stating that religious and cultural beliefs discourage women from seeking modern care. So because of a woman, for instance, is raped, she finds it difficult to come to report. There is also poor access to quality care. Sometimes these things occur and women cannot have access to such services. There's also the existence of loopholes in the legal frameworks. In our region, we don't have all the necessary legal frameworks. Perpetrators go scot-free without the law touching them. So it's also, there's the issue of the security context. The security context of our country sometimes also causes that women don't have your honorable attention to talk against this. Studies have shown that there is a negative correlation between the gross domestic product per capita growth and gender inequality. I think if I just explained, in other words, countries with high gender inequality also have lower gross domestic product per capita growth on average. Therefore, promoting gender parity and equality is key to reaching inclusive and sustainable economic growth. This is coming still from this ECOWAS regional report that was made on gender parity. So amongst the different impacts of gender equality, what the World Bank study showed in 2018 has shown the economic cost of gender inequality in terms of loss of human capital. It states that on a global scale, the lifelong income gap between men and women is cutting countries' wealth by $160.2 trillion. This is a lot of money that if we have it, we will develop our region. Women's human capital could rise from $283.6 trillion to $453.2 trillion with gender equality. It means with gender equality, we can double our economic growth if we so desire. Women spend on average 5 hours on unpaid care work and 2.3 hours on paid work, while men spend 5 hours on paid work and 1.9 hours on unpaid work. What does this mean? Why do we bring it? Unpaid care work is the work that men and women do for the benefit of their families and their communities, but they are not paid. They don't give any financial value. And we will see that because of gender inequalities, we will have one sex that is so much involved in unpaid care work. Because they have to carry water, they have to cook, they have to do all those things. So if somebody remains in unpaid, working only unpaid care for unpaid care work, that person is definitely going to be poorer because the services and products that that person is developing within the unpaid economy does not bring money. So if we can liberate our mothers, our girls, our boys by bringing labor-saving devices, giving them things that will facilitate their work, I tell you, they will have free time to invest in economic activities, and our economy is going to grow more. So we also say globally, women account for only 38% of human capital wealth, compared to 62% for men. The cost of gender equality, we have so many. I think I will just leave it. I think the point is clear that it has not only health consequences, but it has also economic consequences for our countries. Because I know you are our representatives, and one of your key objectives is to alleviate poverty. You want to make sure you enact laws that help us to increase our economic. Do we have laws? Our continent, we have at least some considerable number of normative framework. ECOWAS has, I think, at least 3. We have supplementary act relating to equality of rights between women and men for sustainable development, which came out in 2015. ECOWAS regional strategy is talking about gender equality. ECOWAS vision for 2050 is talking about gender equality. And when we look at the African Union, we have the Maputo Protocol. Actually, it was signed in 2003 by heads of states, giving some rights to women. For instance, cesarean operation for women should be free of charge. When a woman is going to deliver and they have to operate on that woman, Maputo Protocol stipulates that this should be free. It's not a disease. It's the only way the woman is bringing up the labor force for the country. But this one is not implemented. We also have the African Union Agenda 2063. At the global level, we had the Convention for the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, where all the aspects of women's rights in the social domain, in the economic domain, in the political domain, in the home front, all those are taken into consideration. We also have the Beijing Declaration, which actually outlines 12 domains that there must be gender equality for us to have sustainable development. And then we have, at the level of peace, is Resolution 1325, which talks about the protection of women's rights before, during, and after conflicts. So we have a lot of those legal frameworks that are there, but the main problem actually is the fact that it's implementation. It's implementation, and that's why we're coming to you as our representatives to look at how do we implement the laws that you have enacted, the conventions that have been ratified by our different countries. How do we implement it so that we can come out from this situation and we can quickly have our economic growth? So ECOWAS also has a normative framework. For instance, the declaration talking against gender-based violence, what is supposed to be done. I don't want to go through all of what it is saying. I know it's your documents. You would definitely you definitely know what is inside. So, our advocacy today. There's too much of this thing. Our advocacy today, experience that we have had on the field as UN Women. UN Women, we are working on prevention. Prevention is actually looking at different aspects of the legal frameworks on prevention, on the knowledge on the rights of people, on prevention, on the capacity of persons to choose and to say, no, I cannot do this. And then we are looking at the response. The response is after now you have you have faced gender-based violence, you are a victim or a survivor of gender-based violence. Are there services? Are there adequate services? Are there places where women and men can run to before it is too late? There's also the aspect of coordination and coalition building and accountability. So our advocacy today to you is we need you to support us to strengthen the legal frameworks that would prevent gender-based violence. We need you. You are so important in this aspect of the work because you enact laws. We also would need you, honorables, because you are the representative of the people. The people listen to you. The people you talk with, they listen to you. They have regards for you. Can you carry this message about the ill effects of gender-based violence? It does not pay anybody It does not pay our economy. It does not benefit our economy. It does not benefit our families. It does not benefit anybody. It's a lose-lose game. So we need to begin to change our attitudes. And the other thing we want to say is there is need for adequate response to gender-based violence. We need adequate response. And you are our representatives. How could you make sure that we have adequate services? If I face, for instance, gender-based violence, how can I be received? How can I be well treated? How can I be brought to live the traumatic experience of it and become a citizen that is actually helping the country to go before? So those are some of those are our advocacy. We have a very good initiative that is going on in Nigeria, which I don't want to talk extensively because I'm talking to the representatives of ECOWAS. But this Spotlight initiative is not covered in all the countries. It's covered in some of the countries in ECOWAS. We are also wanting to do this advocacy also that even within the countries where UN Women is not represented, we would like to have information about what is happening there so that we can contact our regional office to provide technical support. We have a regional office in Dakar. UN Women is in Dakar, and it touches other countries where we don't have representation. There are countries that don't have representation, but countries that have representation like Nigeria, we have the office to follow up. So we are saying, use your strategic role as members of the ECOWAS Regional Parliament, as also members of your national parliament and the people's representatives to ensure the implementation of effective legislation in respective member states on gender-based violence, to sensitize constituents and communities on issues of gender-based violence and its impact, leverage on funding to implement small-scale projects or community initiatives, ensure oversight to the executive arm of government in respective member states, especially in relationship to budgets. Like Nigeria, I would take the case of Nigeria this year. The Federal Ministry of Finance actually gave a gender-responsive call letter that stipulated that gender disaggregated data should be used and affirmative procurement, actions should be used for vulnerable women. And this year, they have included one-stop centers, that is centers where the victims can go there and have holistic service. They have included it in the Nigerian budget. They have included about 2 other forensic labs that will take place, that will be in Lagos and Abuja. And the idea is to go to the 6 geopolitical zones. So these are good examples that are already happening. The government is including it in their national budget. And because they're including it in their national budget, they are actually going to pay. So we also would like that you advocate for more funding for gender disaggregated data. I don't want to take all your time. I thank you so much for giving me your kind attention. Thank you, honorables.
Thank you very much, UN Women Rep. Honorable members, the floor is open for members who want to take the floor. You are invited to submit your names, please. Honorable warriors, sir.
Thank you, Monsieur le Président. Soyez la bienvenue à ECOFEPA, dont je suis la présidente. Je crois que votre parcours, votre discours a été bien compris. C'est une défense contre les violences faites aux femmes et aux jeunes filles. Moi, je crois que peut-être que nos autorités doivent nous comprendre qu'une femme égale 3 hommes. La femme a l'équivalence de 3 hommes. La femme est mère de famille, la femme est éducatrice. En même temps, la femme est dans les fonctions comme les hommes. On ne peut pas ne pas remercier son Excellence le président, l'ancien président de la République du Sénégal, Maître Abdoulaye Wade, d'avoir compris très tôt l'importance de la femme dans la société en promulguant la loi sur la parité homme-femme dans les instances de décision. Nous sommes fragiles, très fragiles, et aussi nous sommes mères des violeurs et des violeurs et des violés. Mesdames, Messieurs, Monsieur le Président, Madame, Monsieur, Monsieur le Président, il y a un problème qui se pose dans nos familles. Comme l'a dit, des fois, quand on est violé, on a peur de le dire, de dénigrer la personne pour éviter des querelles et des divergences au sein de la famille ou bien au sein du voisin. Nous remercions au sein du voisin. Si vous êtes venu appuyer le genre, on vous dit soyez la bienvenue, car comme les femmes, comme les hommes, nous tous, nous sommes victimes de ces viols répétés dans nos pays africains, dans la sous-région. Étant mère d'une localité, j'avais créé une maison qui s'appelle La Rose. Il y avait des Français qui venaient de Paris et on recueillait à chaque fois les filles en situation difficile. Soit que vous êtes violée, ou bien soit que vous êtes enceinte, renvoyées par vos parents. Ces femmes-là prenaient ces jeunes filles et les gardaient dans la maison rose jusqu'à la fin de leur grossesse. Et elles étaient obligées aussi de les faire apprendre à coudre, la coiffure, et après on va s'arranger pour les remettre dans leurs familles respectives. Comme je l'ai dit, la parité ne veut pas dire créer des confusions dans le foyer. Non, c'est loin de ça. La parité aussi ne veut pas dire que si l'on donne la dépense aujourd'hui, demain c'est la femme qui doit préparer. Non, c'est pas ça. La parité est également faite pour que les hommes et les femmes soient dans les instances de décision. Quand un homme est maire, une femme doit être maire. Quand un homme est député, ainsi de suite, ainsi de suite, ainsi de suite. C'est pourquoi, comme je l'ai dit au début, l'ancien président Abdoulaye Wade a créé à son premier mandat, première ministre femme. Et il a instauré les femmes dans le commandement territorial comme gouverneur, préfet, sous-préfet, sapeur-pompier et policier. C'est pour dire que la femme est tellement importante dans la société que nous vivons. Donc nous vous encourageons à travers Monsieur le Président, Sidi Mohamed Tunis, nous vous tendons aussi la main en tant qu'ECOFEPA, un démembrement de ECOWAS, nous devons être fortifiés, nous devons être appuyés, car la lutte, nous sommes prêts pour lutter contre de viol ou pour le genre. Donc, je vous remercie, Monsieur le Président. En tout cas, on est en parfait d'accord avec vous et on va encourager, on va travailler ensemble, la main dans la main, pour lutter contre ce phénomène, car nous sommes mères des violés et mères des violeurs. Donc, je vous remercie.
Merci beaucoup. Honorable Carlos.
Obrigado, Sr. Presidente. Queria cumprimentar a apresentadora, os apresentadores, e parabenizar também pela apresentação e que continue importante, com este trabalho importante que é divulgar pela causa das mulheres e, sobretudo, pela causa contra, portanto, a violência das mulheres. Eu queria perguntar qual é a sua opinião sobre a questão da mutilação genital feminina e qual é o trabalho que tem feito nesse sentido. Também me perguntar sobre violência política contra as mulheres. Portanto, também o que é que tem feito nesse sentido. E também se tem sido hábito no vosso trabalho, na vossa advocacia, trabalhar também junto dos homens, do sexo masculino, para que se possa ganhar efetivamente essa causa. Porque muitas organizações femininas ou das mulheres acabam por trabalhar apenas com as mulheres e muitas vezes não envolvem os homens e poderão, nesse sentido, ter mais dificuldades em quebrar certas resistências que pode existir. Portanto, é importante também haver essa aproximação ao sexo masculino, aos homens, para que se possa ganhar de uma forma mais consistente também essa luta. Muito obrigado.
Thank you, Honorable Veronica.
Thank you very much. And I want to join my colleagues in thanking the presenters. We are really impressed, and I want to say thank you again and congratulations for taking the 16 days activism on board. Well, here, I just want to say proudly and happily that we in Sierra Leone have passed the gender bill on the 11th of November, 2022. And this bill covers a lot more things that we have spoken about. And I want to say that the political will is there, and everybody was on board, all the political parties, women's organizations, we are all in it together. And also the UN women in Sierra Leone, we are working together and we are doing things together. They have been thick and thin, going around with us, bothering us, going to other organizations to make sure that that gender bill is being passed. And that gender bill, it covers so many things, like the elimination of discrimination in political life, because sometimes it is very difficult for women to come on board. And if there are no women in the legislative, it will be very difficult for policies to pass that deals with women. Until and unless women are there that can step up and speak for women, because we feel for the women, because we feel it, we touch it, we know it. Sometimes they know it, but they just don't want to accept it. But as for Sierra Leone, we have he for she. We have our gender, our supportive men. And our speaker seated there is one of our he for she. We all pioneered together that day. It was very laudable. And
People clap for me, eh? He or she. I'm a champion.
Everybody, you know, we have our anthem. Everybody sang with us, including the speaker, the leaders of the political parties and opposition, paramount chiefs, everybody, because they know the problems that we envisage. Because we women are partners in development. We are powerful instruments for development. We are teachers, we are lawyers, we are managers, we are everything, we are caregivers. You know, talking about manager, sometimes when men are tired because they have so many things to think about, we women will be there to pamper them. We women will be there to talk to them. It is good for you now that have come to ECOWAS to make sure that, to try to sensitize some of our men in the various communities so that they too can copy from Sierra Leone and other areas. Like I think in Senegal, and other areas, they have also, and Liberia also, they have passed, and they have this gender bill. And also, we are talking about 30%. It's not only 30%, it's gonna be more than 30%, because in that, the elections bill, it was stated that every 2 men that are being chosen, there must be a woman. Every 2, there must be a woman. And if we are 146, a male-dominated parliament, if we leave it like that, if there is no political will, or if this bill was not passed, then definitely it will be very difficult for women to have voice there. So with that, we'll be getting more than 40, about 46, because we have 146 constituencies. So it also covers the area of finance. You have rights to go for loan. You have rights to agriculture. You have rights to do everything. And what we are doing with the other women's organizations. We go around to other schools. Now that we are saying we want 30% and it's going to be passed, and thank God it has passed, we want to catch them young. We go to institutions. We go to various schools. From the SSS, we start from there, because after us, they will be taken after us, they will be there to step up, to step in. So we go there to start to show them how we come about it. I hate to say how we manage, but how we come about it, because tradition and, you know, so many things have let us down. So as you have stated here about the sensitization, about the ECOWAS coming on board, because we are representing the people. We are here representing the people. And in the area of policy, it was recommended that the fundamental principle of freedom, democracy, and justice in Sierra Leone be expanded to include the dignity and equality of women. That is why our president was so proactive, and he was there behind us. And also the First Lady, she had a program that she called Get Hands Off Our Girls. And that has helped us greatly. If you get hands off our girls, you men, you get hands off our girls, we'll be having so many women. At the end of the day, if we are asking for 30%, we'll be having more than 30%. So the project is booming, and she has succeeded. And also in her program, she goes round to schools to make sure they give them pads, sanitary pads, and so many things. And also want to say thanks to them. And there are so many goodies in this, in our gender bill. So I just came back from Sierra Leone a few weeks ago to sensitize our gentlemen. We know and we hope that they will see and reason, because we should be in it together. You have a wife, you have a sister, you have an aunt, you have your friends, I don't want to say concubines or whatever, but you have everything that you know is connected with women. You have to let us work together. We are not taken from the head, for God's sake. We are taken by the side, the ribs. Biblically, they said women were taken by the ribs, from the ribs. So therefore, we should be seen side by side. Let us do things together. Behind any successful man, there is a woman. So I want to say that we are very much happy. We will be with you, and also we will continue to work with the UN women who are in Sierra Leone to make sure that we see it implemented, and we make sure we go to all the other areas, because now there is a fine if you don't employ, or if you don't send like the political parties, if you send your list, if there are no 30% of women, there is a fine for that. There are so many things. So you see, we have to work together. We have been in this for the past years. We have succeeded, and now we want to expand it to the other organizations or to the other countries. So as we are here, we are representatives of our various communities. So let's work together. Take this message that small Sierra Leone with a population of 7 million has passed the gender bill. What about you? What are you waiting? Please pass it as we have done. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Veronica. Honorable Shibo.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. Merci, Madame la présentatrice. Merci de l'effort que vous faites pour la cause féminine. Madame la présentatrice, je voulais d'abord peut-être, comme vous représentez les femmes de l'ONU, c'est-à-dire que de l'univers entier, faire une plantation du décor parce que ce n'est pas partout peut-être que la femme a des problèmes. Il y a des endroits également où c'est peut-être les hommes qui ont des problèmes. Je prends l'exemple de la Somalie, l'exemple du Pérou. Je peux également parler de la polyandrie dans certains milieux en Asie, de la matrilinéarité, là où par la mère on n'a plus de droit que de l'avoir par son père. Il y a également, je plante le décor, j'ai également, selon mes lectures, des endroits à travers l'Afrique, parce que ce n'est pas en Europe, des endroits où la légitimation de la violence faite aux femmes par les femmes elles-mêmes est recourue. Alors, il y a, à mon avis, il y a une confusion qui se fait parce que la frontière entre la lutte des femmes pour l'égalité et la lutte contre la violence, la frontière est mal perçue. On n'arrive pas à trouver où se trouve la délimitation. Parce que on a l'impression que la lutte pour l'égalité est nettement mise en avant plutôt que la lutte contre la violence qui est faite aux femmes. Et tout à l'heure, dans les mots de la présidente de ECOFEPA, quand elle vous reprenait, je crois qu'elle a parlé de votre présence par rapport à la violence faite aux femmes. Et que notre rôle en tant que représentant du peuple serait de voir avec vous et voir d'initier ou d'épauler des lois que vous-même, des initiatives de loi, des propositions de loi que vous allez vouloir introduire pour que nous puissions les appuyer par rapport à la violence faite aux femmes. Vous savez, dans nos administrations déjà, les femmes ont obtenu qu'il y a tous les pays d'Afrique quasiment ont un ministère où on dit ministère de la femme et de l'enfant. Souvent, on ajoute le mot protection de la femme et de l'enfant. Et dès l'instant où on parle de protection, c'est que c'est forcément par rapport à une violence. Maintenant, il faut souvent faire attention à la législation occidentale. Parce que dans la législation occidentale, ils vont jusqu'à dire des choses qui sont contraires à nos us et coutumes, qui, par exemple, si je donne un exemple du moins, quand vous frôlez votre femme alors qu'elle n'est pas consentante, on dit que vous l'avez violée. Croyez-vous qu'une telle assertion en Afrique puisse passer, quel que soit le pays d'où on vient? Vous avez dit quelque chose qui a heurté mon attention tout à l'heure aussi, c'est quand le fait que la femme soit retenue à autre chose pour à peu près un tiers de son temps, ou même plus que cela, elle n'est pas disponible à autre chose. Et une implication se trouverait dans le PIB du pays et autres. Mais je veux dire que les autres c'est pris dans ce même souvent, parce que je connais des individus qui sortent le matin de chez eux, qui ne font que mendier, c'est-à-dire passer de bureau à bureau pour chercher la bectance du lendemain. Donc, en train de chercher à joindre les deux bouts. La finalité pour moi de tout ce que vous avez dit, madame, c'est que nous devons profiter effectivement de votre voix et de la nôtre pour demander pourquoi, bon Dieu, il ne pourrait pas y avoir des tribunaux que l'on va spécialiser pour justement la protection de la femme et de l'enfant. Dans chaque pays, il y ait un tribunal à côté qui ne s'occupe que de ce volet-là, pour ne pas engorger les autres tribunaux. Et deuxièmement, revoir toute la législation afférente à ces deux types, là où il y a la pédophilie, il y a les jeunes, il y a les femmes, etc., qu'on reprenne les lois et qu'on voit les lois qu'on peut même criminaliser pour que ce volet-là soit pris. Peut-être qu'on mettra du temps à le faire, mais si on commence déjà à le faire, par exemple, au niveau, vous êtes ici à la CEDEAO, au niveau de la CEDEAO au plan communautaire, si on peut déjà réfléchir à une loi de ce genre, qui soit une loi communautaire que, bien sûr, chaque nation l'amènera à sa juste valeur dans sa propre législation, ce serait une chose parfaite. Et ce serait une journée de gagner, à mon sens, par rapport à tout cela. C'est-à-dire que vraiment, on puisse spécialiser des tribunaux rien que pour ça. Nous avons des tribunaux de commerce, nous avons des tribunaux pour les crimes, mais que ce sujet-là soit pris à bras le corps. Merci, Monsieur le Président. Merci, Madame la présentatrice. Je vous remercie.
Monsieur le Président.
Thank you very much, Honorable Jibo. Honorable Daoud.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to speak. I also want to join the other colleagues in appreciating the presentation. I would like to make a little contribution by way of comment, questions, or concerns. We are Africans, and we do know that in Africa, the usual elephants in the room, so to say, is culture and religion. And these twins are always an issue when we are trying to resolve this kind of situation. So on that note, I just wonder, in your 16 days campaign, how much of it is dedicated to reaching out to the traditional rulers or the religious leaders? The bigger elephant in the room that we don't like to talk about, and I would actually like your own opinion on that. What role does polygamy play in this violence that we're talking about? Coupled with large families. If a man has 4 wives and there are 20 children in that house, I think it's not rocket science to figure out that that may be responsible to violence on the wives or on the children. In your research, I'm sure you are also adapting all the time. What are the approaches that you are doing to combat that? We are legislatures, so obviously we'll be concerned about legislation. You also spoke about the fact that you got a report from the ECOWAS that, and some of the data you presented. I'm curious to find out from you that out of the 15 states in ECOWAS, how many states have actually passed this law. Because I know from the Nigerian experience, it was a very difficult and challenging thing. And in our ninth legislature that we have now in Nigeria, we were trying to pass a lot of bills about women's rights and protection of women. And a lot of them didn't pass, including the 13% affirmative action that some people have spoken about here today. So I would like to know, I mean, what are your efforts in that? As I know you are not ECOWAS, but you are an international world body there. What is also of concern that you will find in this kind of situation, and you touched on it in terms of the effects. A girl is raped or a lady is raped and they get pregnant, and they don't want the baby. That is where the issue of reproductive health laws come into view. In your own program, what is the approach? I know in one of our sessions, the colleague from Benin said that they have that law that if a woman so desire in this kind of situation to terminate the pregnancy, that can happen. I don't think there's any law like that in Nigeria as it's currently stated. So I appreciate your coming here and giving us this talk. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Daoud. Honorable Soklingbe.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le Président. Monsieur le Président, je voudrais remercier la présentatrice pour son exposé. Je voudrais en amont relever que nous ne devons pas faire de l'amalgame en confondant les notions. Parce que dans les prises de parole, j'ai senti que nous sommes en train de tenter de confondre la violence, les violences basées sur le genre avec la question de la promotion de la femme. La présentatrice l'a bien fait en définissant les notions, que cette définition notionnelle des concepts reste calquée sur... Et je continue par dire que sur le cadre institutionnel et légal, certains pays ont suffisamment avancé sur ces questions. Je prends l'exemple du Togo. Quand mon collègue Djibo parlait tout de suite, en parlant des tribunaux spécialisés, je lui disais que le Togo est suffisamment avancé sur ces questions. Parce qu'au Togo, actuellement, les questions de la protection de l'enfant, du genre, c'est tellement systématique en termes de cadre légal institutionnel qu'il n'y a plus rien à faire là-dessus. Mais mon inquiétude, c'est que nos sociétés sont à géométrie variable. Qu'est-ce que je voudrais dire par là? Quand nous prenons les grandes villes de nos États, ou bien les grandes villes, les capitales de nos États, la société est mieux éduquée. La société est beaucoup plus informée. Mais quand nous prenons les villages, on égalise les situations de fait. Donc, je ne sais pas ce que ONU Femmes est en train d'entreprendre en ce sens, parce que c'est la cible qui reste à atteindre. Parce que si cette cible n'est pas atteinte, je crois que l'objectif ne serait pas non plus atteint. Quand je prends, mon collègue du Nigeria parlait tout de suite, quand je prends le Nigeria, certains États ne connaissent pas ces situations. Il faut qu'on se le dise là, faut qu'on se le dise. Certains États ne connaissent pas ce que nous appelons violence basée sur le genre parce qu'il y a la laïcité de l'État et les États qui pratiquent, certains États qui pratiquent la religion canonique, le droit canonique plutôt. Donc, c'est difficile que ces notions-là, que ces questions soient vraiment traiter avec efficacité dans ces milieux. J'encourage vraiment l'ONU Femmes parce que je sais que des efforts sont faits, des efforts sont en cours, mais il reste beaucoup à faire. C'est pour cela que je suggérerais à ce qu'ils puissent mettre en place des mécanismes d'enquête pour recueillir auprès des populations, auprès des États, les sociétés qui sont vraiment affectées de ces situations-là pour voir comment est-ce qu'il faut relever le niveau. Quand je prends au même rang la société nigérienne qui a une forte connotation musulmane par rapport à une société togolaise qui a une connotation fortement chrétienne. Donc, je crois que c'est pour cela que le collègue du Nigeria parlait des chefs religieux. Dans vos actions, il faudrait aussi commencer par là. Et je vous assure que ce ne serait pas facile à ce qu'un chef religieux accepte ce que nous mettons dans le concept violence basée sur le genre ni la promotion de la femme. On ne pourra rien et le phénomène va gangréner les sociétés. Il y aura une couche de la société beaucoup plus vulnérable, alors que de l'autre côté, nous croyons que nous sommes en train de faire tout, Monsieur le Président.
Thank you very much, Honorable Sobingbe. Haja, Honorable.
It's not working. Okay, thank you, Mr. You know, again, I listened to some of my colleagues. You know, for women, really people are saying that for religion, this and that. You know, violence against women is something really, we really have to work against it. Because for me, I'm looking at all the advocacies that you and women, you're doing. Because you're doing the same thing in my country. But I'm not looking at it yielding fruit. Because particularly when you say among some of the men, they will bring all kind of tradition, they not tell you that you must be who take care of you, take care of your children. Tradition will never tell you that. For me, this is my 18 years in politics. And I'm coming from an Islamic background. Why is it my husband allowed me to go there? Because he understands that your wife's supposed to be your family. Your wife's supposed to be your friend, supposed to be your mothers, because they will come. Something will happen to you, nobody will come around beside your wife. If any man understand that, you will abolish violence against women, because you will know that woman you married is everything to you, and you too, you are everything to her. Because that will also help you to bring your children up good. Because you think that child will look up to you, that child will take care of you. Because